Listen, I'm not one to discover a gorgeous new take on a classic Indian recipe and gatekeep it. This is vanilla rasmalai, inspired by the traditional Bengali sweet. Fluffy clouds of cheese meet their best mate in a sweet vanilla bean, cardamom and saffron milk. The first thing we need to do is make our malai pieces, and in order to do that we have to make some paneer or chhena, which is a fresh homemade cottage cheese. All you need to do is bring full fat milk to a rolling boil, switch the heat off and then add in some lemon juice or vinegar. You'll begin to see a slow separation of the curds from the whey, which you can drain off. Be sure to reserve that greenish coloured whey for things like protein shakes and baking. I like to pop a large bowl underneath a colander that's been lined with a clean muslin cloth, and that way I can catch all of the whey. We now need to rinse our soft chhena really well under some lukewarm water. Rinsing will remove any of the acidity from the lemon juice. Give it a final squeeze and then pop it back into your colander and press it down with something heavy. About half an hour should do it. While the chhena drains, we're going to get on with making our sweet vanilla bean milk. Fill your pot with whole milk, keep it over a medium heat, and while it warms up, we'll be adding in some spices. I'm adding some crushed green cardamom, a sprinkle of saffron, and of course a fresh vanilla pod. I'm going to split it, scrape the seeds out, and then add the whole bean into the pot. The final thing we need to add is a sprinkling of sugar to sweeten the milk. And if you like, a few chopped pistachios or almonds. Let this come to a gentle boil and then simmer for around 20 to 30 minutes. Our chhena is now nice and firm, so it's time to give this a really good knead. Crumble it all up and then go in with the heel of your palm, trying to remove as many of those coarse grains as you can. We're trying to get this cheese nice and smooth. You really don't want to use a blender for this, as the excess fat will release and the mixture will not bind together well. So really give this a vigorous knead for around 15 to 20 minutes. Kneading the chhena until it's smooth is crucial. If you think of your enemies as you do it, I promise it's fun. Really nicely smooth, so what we're going to do now is portion it into small balls. For each ball you want to flatten it out as much as you can, trying not to create any cracks as you do. Our chhena pieces are now ready to be poached in a sugar syrup. I'm going to bring to the boil some water, sugar and a drop of lemon juice, which will prevent the sugar syrup from crystallizing. Give it a really good stir, and then once the sugar has dissolved and it starts coming to a boil, stop stirring. As soon as the sugar syrup reaches 105 degrees Celsius, carefully place your chhena pieces into the pot. Take care because sugar syrup is really hot. And once all of your pieces are in, pour in a mixture of corn flour and water. This will help to create foam and bubbles, keeping those chhena pieces submerged so that they can inflate to their full potential. At 5-minute intervals, add in around 60 milliliters of hot water. These pieces need to boil for 16 to 18 minutes over a really high heat. If you notice that they start to turn brown, it's because your sugar syrup is too concentrated, so you need to add in some more hot water. I like my rasmalai a little bit on the firmer side, so I left these in for 18 minutes, and now I'm going to take them out very carefully and drop them into a plate of cool water. Legend whispers of rasmalai's ability to bring joy to any occasion. Festivals, birthdays, or even just a random Thursday. They're popular in Indian restaurants and you can buy them in the shop, but there's nothing like making your own. The final thing we need to do is arrange these in a large pan and then very carefully pour over that cooled spiced milk that we made earlier. These pieces of chhena aren't their full size yet, and after 6 to 8 hours in the fridge, they're going to absorb all of that delicious milk and turn spongy and squidgy. I like to garnish with pistachios and dried edible rose petals. After you take your rasmalai out of the fridge, they'll have absorbed beautifully and you can serve them with more spiced milk if you like. Cut them with your spoon and feel how light and fluffy they are. It's like eating a cloud. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do, and don't forget to like and share the video. I'll see you next time.